Welcome to this week's episode of Bowhunt or Die. We've got 2 bucks on the ground and 1 doe in this episode. The rut is in full swing. After a rough first half of the season, Neal McCullough finally puts his first buck of the season down in Wisconsin. Mike Willand gives us an update to how the past few weeks have been for him, as well as his first buck harvest in 2010. I continue to see buck action and practice quality deer management as I put my second doe of the year down. And John Mueller, who's been struggling miserably, has an update from Central Illinois as the rut is finally kicking off for him. But for now, let's join Neal on November 7th as he's just ready to start a fantastic hunt.
All right, it's Sunday, November 7th, our favorite time of year. We're in Pepin County, Wisconsin. We're pumped up, Bowhunt or Die. It's that time of year, so we've had a little bit of success early, but October is just slow for us, and we're hunting a new property. We're trying to figure it out. The wind's just the way we want it. We're gonna go in early. It's pitch dark. We'll see you in the tree.
Meh. 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 Meh.
Good penetration. Unbelievable hunt. Wasn't probably 20 minutes after the sun started peeking up, Grant taps me and says, "Big buck." I called at him here. I canned at him here. He made a scrape. We got some footage of that. I called and canned. Nothing. Finally, I grunted as hard as I could. I just howled at him. He didn't like that, and he turned and he came straight in. We're going to leave him. In a shot like that, you just don't know. I didn't get as much penetration as I'd like, but we're going to leave him. We're going to leave him for like 3 or 4 hours, even though we're hoping for a hard shot. And I guess we'll get back to you. We'll let you know what happened. All right, it's about 11:15. We've given that deer 4 hours, and yeah, we're excited and nervous at the same time. So we got obviously geared down a little bit. I got my knife and my drag and all that kind of stuff, and we're gonna bring the camera and we're gonna go collect them. So see you in a little bit. All right, this is the hillside where he tipped over and walked down. And I'll be honest with you, Grant and I were both looking at each other very, very negative. We found 0 blood. This is the first time in my life I found no blood at all. And so we started to grid, and he actually went down this hill and he cut across the cornfield to a little place he feels safe. And that's what we just started to do. We started to look where they felt safe. So follow me.
There he is.
What a big buck. We couldn't be any happier with it. Came up on him, found him just by grid searching, and boy am I excited. I cannot believe we found this deer. I cannot believe we shot this deer. I cannot believe that on November 7th we had such an awesome hunt. Bow hunt or die. It never stops. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Wow, Neal, what an exciting hunt. That just goes to show you that anything can happen in November. That's why we put so much time in the month of November, because of the magical moments that the rut can bring. Great job grabbing your grunt tube and bringing them back in. A lot of people would have just hung it up. You stuck with it, you kept grunting him in, and sure enough, that buck ended up coming back and giving you a second chance at a shot, and you got it. And that paid off a big dividend, as that's a super good buck for you. Congratulations. It's time to head back in the woods with Mike Willand. We've seen in the previous episodes that he's let go a lot of younger deer. They just don't meet the caliber that he's looking for, and he's hoping that those deer continue on to grow up to become bigger bucks. Let's join him now to see if he's finally hooked up with a bigger deer.
We're back in stand again. It's about 1 o'clock, and I'm again in Joe Davies County for my week-long break. It's November 7th, I think, and I'm sitting in a draw that actually has beans all around me, coming straight out of a giant woodlot that's probably a good 500-600 acres. It's been a good stand so far for me. Killed my turkey from here, so deer every single time, including 1 shooter buck so far, so we'll sit tight, see what happens. Well, we're back in the saddle tonight, same stand. I was in last night where I saw all the activity. We got our decoys right over here. I'm gonna call Judy the standing one. She's got a little flag on her, and the wind's blowing pretty good, so it's moving quite a bit. So hopefully we can get a buck. That was about a 120-inch 8-pointer that just came by. It's only about 2:50 in the afternoon. I wouldn't have shot him anyway, but I was trying to get him to interact with this doe decoy so I can get some footage, really see exactly which way he'd approach, but he just totally ignored it. I had other plans, I guess. Oh well. Kind of an intense morning here this morning. I had about 7 or 8 does come in, and they actually fed on much of the black cherry and hawthorn that dots this edge of a huge cattail swamp. 2 different bucks were dogging. I only caught a glimpse of the one, which I got footage of him coming actually right underneath my stand. A young buck, 1.5 years, maybe 2. A buck that I've never got on trail camera, which shows you what the rut can do, bringing these bucks from far and wide to come inspect does. So we're gonna sit tight. It's pretty early. 9:30, so that first hour and 15 minutes, or the last hour and 15 minutes were pretty intense with all this activity, so let's see what happens. I couldn't even do my interview this afternoon. The moment I got in, I'd snuck into this draw. And I've been in this stand about 3 times this year, and every single time the does would come from that direction, and they would work their way this way across the draw, feed in this draw, and then work themselves back over this way to my east, I guess. She pulled him out, and I knew who he was right away, because 2 weeks ago in this very stand, on a south-southwest wind, he busted me from this direction, I think coming into these grapes. He's a big, wide, definitely mature deer. I passed a lot of deer this year waiting for this particular animal, this particular size of animal. Whew. Yeah, I'm pretty happy right now. Well, here we are, first buck of the Illinois season. He's a good buck. He didn't go far. That NAP Nitron did his job. Shot was right through the lungs. Deer didn't go 50 yards. He's not exactly the buck I thought he was. I thought he was a 140 that 3 weeks ago busted me from the same stand. And in this self-filming game, it's a little difficult. But I took him. I'll be happy with him. He'll make some good eats on the grill. He's a good buck anyway. Older class deer for sure. Got one trail cam picture of this deer about half a mile away. I still got 2 tags left. Not sure if I'm gonna use them. I got a baby girl this year, and I've promised to stay at home as much as possible, and I really want to. So this might conclude my 2010 season, other than a few does that I'll probably try to take off of one particular farm, but I'm happy, I'm done.
Mike, I know that wasn't exactly the buck you were looking for, but man, what a great hunt. First of all, it's your first successful buck on film shot. Not only do you get 1 shot, you get 2 shots. How often does that happen? You're hunting an area where you have over a mile of field edge. Trying to figure out where those deer are gonna come out is very difficult. I think you did a heck of a job. I know the buck didn't score exactly what you wanted it to score, but what a great job. Hats off to you. More importantly, after more review of that deer, that is an extremely old deer. His teeth were basically worn out, almost gone. He just didn't have the full-blown genetics of a big monster buck. Not all of them have it. More importantly, I know you have another tag in your pocket ready to go. You still have a couple of hot spots that are gonna be fantastic after the shotgun season. So I'm hopeful that you're gonna shoot another buck. Me and you are in the same boat. We'll have to see what the late season delivers. As for myself, I took an additional 3 or 4 days off. I jumped back into the woods. I put a ton of hours in. Take a look.
You gotta love when a hot doe comes through. Man, is that exciting. They were chasing over here, but unfortunately they all went downhill down in the ravine. So you never know what that doe is gonna do, so just sit tight and see what happens. southeast winds, hot. Need this weather to change, but can't hunt this weekend, so I got to make the best out of what I got. I did see 2 nice bucks this morning. One of them was in this draw that I'm sitting in here, but it's going to be a long shot. I have a feeling they're working over there, but I just can't get in there with this wind, so it is what it is. Let's sit back. You never know. This is the rut. I mean, a doe can come flying by here, and you could tag a hunt in 3 seconds. You know, it happens that fast generally, so let's see what happens. Made a good shot on that doe. She didn't go more than 20 yards. She's laying right here dead. So good, fast, ethical kill. Wanted to get a management doe tonight. Got in here perfect. Wanted to be traveling this deer trail right here to my left. The wind's out of the south. Actually south-southwest, so it was perfect. They came up here, this little buck was pushing them around, and I was able to get one doe. It was perfect. It's 3:30, nice and early. I know right where she's laying, so we're gonna hang in here and see what happens.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the best doe recovery. I know I took a lot of heat for that, but I did the best I could do with what I had. I was hunting in a situation where I was by myself. I didn't have a video guy with me, and more importantly, I needed to get home as I spent a lot of hours in the woods, and we all know how family is important. So it was a matter of getting that doe, getting her out of there. I made a good, clean, ethical shot. Luckily, she didn't go very far, so I was very grateful for that. Quality deer management is absolutely something that's top of my list. There's no question about it on each one of the individual properties that I hunt. I feel it's my responsibility to take a doe, and I'm going to continue to do so. Let's wrap up with John Mueller down in southern Illinois as he continues his quest to harvest the buck.
I'm sitting in the middle of my food plot here on a little pinch point where the deer seem to funnel through. The other week, this is where the big boy went through, and I was sitting over by the water hole. It's really cold today, about 45 degrees for the high. It's supposed to get down to around 20 tonight. I hope the deer will get up early. Time to get something on the ground. Make sure I've got pictures of him. Very, very cold out here this morning. Very frosty out here. Had a little 7-pointer come out chasing does last night. Didn't see any big boys. Saw a few does out in the field. Well, there's a lot of bucks in the area. Well, I guess nobody's looking for a fight right now. Didn't have anything show up to my rattling and grunting. And they can't hear me, and they're not in the fighting mood. Oh well, I tried. It's like 10 after 1 right now. I just got back up in the stand. Time to get serious. Turn the camera off until there's some action. hopefully things are gonna go a little smoother from now on. Got about an hour of daylight left here. Probably my last hunt before gun season. I don't know. Been seeing a lot of rut activity the last few days. Been going at it hard, hunting a lot from the very beginning of the season. I don't know what the problem is. Last weekend I saw 4 different shooter bucks. Just couldn't get anything within range. This weekend, not too much activity today. Saw one little small buck, a couple of does. Don't know what to say. I will be back though.
John, I know the frustration and the pain that you're feeling right now. Of all the pro staff members, I know the amount of money that you have spent putting in food plots and fertilization and making your property pristine. I know it's going to happen for you. You have the trail camera photos. Clearly some does must have came in the heat earlier off of your property. Who knows what's going on, but I know for a fact that you're going to deliver. Hang in there. Patience is key right now. It's a difficult time to hunt, and you're going to score. Well, that's it for this week's episode of Bowhunt or Die. Before we go, I want to reach out to those of you who shot some great animals, who took the time to send us your photos. If you haven't sent us your photos, come on guys, get off the couch, walk over to the computer and send us those photos. We'd love to see them, and you may be one of the lucky guys to get posted right here on Bowhunt or Die. Dave Comer, Gaspar Madrazo, David Leach, Jen Dunlap, and Reese Wickham. Well, congratulations again for sending us in those photos. Those are some great deer. Now, a couple of things in closing. We've got rifle season starting in Wisconsin. We've got shotgun season hunting. There's no question about it for you bow hunters. There's gonna be a lot of extra pressure on the woods. That doesn't mean you still can't get a deer in late season. For those of you who took the time to plant food plots or have some secret hunting holes that you're leaving alone and you know don't go to a lot of pressure during the hunting season, you still will have some good late season opportunities when these bucks get off their rutting habits and they get back onto some regular patterns. That's all we have for this week's episode of Bowhunt or Die. Don't forget, we're not going to have a show next week as we're taking a week off, so stay tuned as more bucks hit the ground in 2 weeks.